Hi everyone, thanks for choosing to watch this video, especially dedicated to SPM candidates beginning the year 2021. This video would hopefully serve as a brief guide on how to write reviews, a relatively new genre of writing for SPM 1119. You may wonder, what's the relevance of introducing reviews into the 1119 paper? The nature of writing in the CEFR-aligned English curriculum has always been to be as natural, purposeful, and relevant as possible to your real life. Let's look at the types of reviews that you may encounter in your 1119 paper. You could be required to write a review on a book, a movie, a restaurant, a gadget, or a product. You may even be required to write a review on songs or television shows. Most of these media or products are quite familiar and relevant to the general population of teenagers in Malaysia. Why do you write a review then? Well, as a teenager living in the social media world, you basically can share your thoughts so as to promote a good product or to dissuade people from purchasing the mediocre ones. It's also a way of saying thank you to an outstanding service, always to make recommendation for improvement if otherwise. There are teenagers out there who write reviews to collect rewards and prizes, and some lucky ones are even able to change their life by turning reviews into a career. Take for example Zaf Vlog for movies, PewDiePie for games, or Ryan for toys. In any writing task given to you, it is very important that you identify the 3 T's, which are task, tone, and tense. In the case of a review, it is very important that you identify the context and how many questions are there for you to answer in the task given. Appropriately addressing the task would enable you to get a high mark for your content. Whereas for the second T, which is tone, this is where you would have to identify and decide what's the degree of the formality in your review. Is it formal or informal? Who is your audience? Are they school students in your own school? Or are you writing for a magazine that is available nationwide? Or are you writing for an international blog? The type of audience that you have will decide whether it is a formal or an informal writing. Deciding on the appropriate tone will contribute to your communicative achievement mark. And finally, the third T, which is tense. You have to decide what kind of tense you would use in any piece of writing before you start writing it. In the case of review, it's usually a mix of present tense and past tense, primarily focusing on simple present tense and simple past tense. Now, let us have a look at what you need to know about the question. A review will generally appear in Part 3 of Paper 2 1119, which is your writing paper. There will be 3 choices given in Part 3 and you only have to choose one, and one of them might be a review. In Part 3, you need to write between 200 to 250 words. Please bear in mind that you are allowed to write more than 250 words, but you must be careful as there are two other questions you need to address in part 1 and part 2. When looking at the question, you will have to immediately identify the 3 T's that you must fulfill. For the tone of this question, which is taken from the SPM sample paper prepared by Lembaga Peperiksaan in 2020, the audience is a magazine which is bigger than the school context, and you have to give your own personal opinion. Hence, it's established that the tone is formal, but you can somewhat be personal. You may use I as a pronoun in your piece of writing, but you may have to use 1 or 2 passive sentences to show a degree of formality. As for the task, it is stated here that you only need to say what you enjoyed about the movie and nothing about a negative experience. And the second task that you have to fulfill is whether you would recommend the movie to your friends and why. As for the tense, you could see that in the task stipulation over here, it is clearly stated that you have to say what you enjoyed about the movie. Hence, your review will primarily be in the simple past tense. It is amazing that simply by looking at the question, you can already identify the 3 T's and embark on your writing. So you have understood the relevance of writing a review. You have identified the 3 T's of a review. You have analyzed the question for today, and now let's move on to the planning step. It is very essential that you plan before you write. For a movie review, you only need between 4 to 5 paragraphs. In paragraph 1, for the introduction, you need to provide some background to the movie that you have chosen. Now, your movie could be fictional or real. Do not worry about the examiners checking whether it's a real movie or not. You should, however, provide some background information about the actors, or maybe about the directors, maybe a bit about the main plot, and some numbers of the box office collection. This is to entice or to intrigue the readers to read more. In paragraph 2 and 3, you should be answering the task, which is you have to say what you liked about the movie. It is a very good idea that for every task that we have, we provide 2 answers for it. So in paragraph 2, you will be sharing one reason why you liked the movie, and in paragraph 3, you'll be writing about another reason for liking the movie. Here are some possible reasons. It could be the storyline, the acting skills, the genre-specific thrills. Say for example, if you are a horror movie fan, you might be excited to see the jump scares. You could also talk about the language, the cinematography, the soundtrack, the moral values learned, and the setting of the movie. And finally, in paragraph 4, which is also the conclusion, this is where you would state the 2 reasons of why you would recommend this movie to your friends. And please, always opt for yes, that you would recommend this product, this movie, this book, or anything that you are reviewing to your friends. These are the possible reasons for recommending it. It could be because it is educational, it is entertaining, or it caters to a specific crowd. Notice that these reasons could be used for a book review, a movie review, a song review, a restaurant review, or in any review of the products that you might have to review later. You should always be mindful of the 3 T's while you are writing and after you are writing as well. In this sample essay of about 295 words that I have prepared, I have only divided my essay into 4 paragraphs. In the first paragraph, I only spoke about 2 aspects of the background of the movie, which is the name of the director and something about the cast. In my second and third paragraph, I focused on why I liked the movie. I use past tense, I use a personal pronoun which is I, and I also use passive sentences to establish a tone of formality. In my last paragraph, I have the usage of models to establish a recommendation, and I also recommended at the end where to watch the movie. So that's the 4 paragraphs that you need to write, and 295 words. Although it's more than the recommended number of words, it is not exceedingly more. So plan your essay well and make sure if you're writing more than the stipulated number of words that you are not shortchanging question 1 and question 2. So we are nearing the end of the video where you have looked at the relevance of answering reviews in the 1119 paper. You are probably introduced to always identify the 3 T's, which is the task, the tone, and the tense before you begin planning or writing your essay. You should also always analyze the question and be mindful of the word count. And before you begin writing, you should always plan your essay and provide 2 answers to each question and elaborate with the cause, an effect, or an example. So good luck to all the SPM candidates. I hope this video has been helpful for you and you can achieve A+ in your 1119 paper for your SPM later. Again, good luck everybody!